From April 1st to April 30th, 2025, I managed to spend $14,000 on a singular ad account and turned it into over $100,000 cash collected in just 30 days. If you want to get technical, we did 98K in April, broke 100K just a few days later. And throughout this process, there are three key things that I learned. And the last one is arguably the most important that has clicked very, very recently for me. Now, the first thing, and arguably by far the most important part, is the offer itself. The thing that you are selling determines largely what your return on ad spend is going to be. Now, the individual and my client in this case who managed to crack 100K in 30 days, they have 2,000 followers on Instagram and a couple hundred on YouTube. Pretty much non-existent. However, because their offer is ridiculously strong, we were able to break it, right? Because they had something so compelling to their target market, we were able to break that 100K cash collected. Now, not only was the offer solid, but I think arguably the second most important part on the offer side of things is the fact that the price point was so high, right? Our highest end product is around $15,000, but our lowest end product at this time is around 8 to 9K-ish. Now, I'll get into another caveat to this 100K cash collected at the end of the video, but the principle here is we have something that people really, really, really want, and we're selling it for a very high price, right? So if we do 100K cash collected, let's say it's all 9K products, we only have to sell like 10 to 12 of them. You get me? So the price point and having extreme desirability or a cracked offer is going to help you scale ads crazy. Like, think about it, 14K to over 100K cash collected. This is not contract value. I will not bullshit you. That's like a 7 to 9x return on ad spend. It's crazy. Now, the second biggest thing, and arguably one of those things that is hard to really grasp or, feel content with, is a large part of this also comes down to time in the game. I've been working with this client for almost 8 months, if not over 8 months now. And the amount of time that we have worked on this offer and worked on the conversion mechanisms is the reason that we were able to do this, right? And this will parlay into my third point here, but the bigger picture on the timeline side of things is because we have spent so much time learning about our customer, learning about our desired avatar, we have been able to effectively market to them, right? So it's not just knowing who it is, but it's knowing what resonates with them, right? So let's say, for example, I'm speaking to, in this case, wholesalers who are trying to get better at sales, right? Right away, we may be speaking like, hey, we'll help you get your first deal, we'll help you close more deals, but realistically, that's not who's gonna pay us 9, 10, 20K per offer, 15K per offer, right? We need to speak to an individual that is already doing deals, and so the messaging changes. Think about it. If you try to hook everyone on, are you not able to close deals? Are you struggling to close deals? You'll get broke people and you'll get rich people. But because we spent time in the game and we were able to learn this, we were able to figure out that, hey, if we say, are you tired of spending thousands of dollars on marketing and still feeling like you're not getting a high enough return on your ad spend, right? By speaking to a more sophisticated audience, we are able to attract a more sophisticated audience. And this comes from time in the game. This also comes from ad spend, right? $14,000 a month is very, very low. There are some accounts where I'm spending 40, 50, 60,000 a month on ads, and we don't nearly see a return as insane as this. But the other thing is if we were to 5x spend, we can compress time. However, time in the game is what will allow you to see the outsized returns from really having a deep understanding of your market. That's arguably like having a very, very solid understanding of your market, who you're speaking to, and what they would actually pay for is how you go from where you're at to where you want to be and possibly see 6, 7, 8, 9x return on ad spend. Now, the caveat to this whole thing, and what I do find interesting and why I wanted to tie it back into the timeline side of things, is yes, we did 100K cash collected. However, 22 to 25K of that, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, was monthly recurring on a low ticket subscription. And this is where the time in the game comes in. I was watching saw something pop up on my feed, I can't remember what it was, but some clip by Eddie Malouf. And he was explaining this concept of how these software companies or investment-backed businesses are willing to take on such large sums of money from investors, VC funds, angel investors, whatever it might be. And it's because they look at the lifetime value of the customer, not just the upfront cash. So yeah, turning 14K, let's be realistic, we turn 14 into 75, which is still cracked in terms of ROAS, but 25 of the cash collected was low ticket. And that only comes from the compound effects of continuing to run this, right? The subscription is around $197 and the lifetime value is around $1,100. I may get a 0.6x return on my ad spend month 1, month 2 I'm positive, and every month after that is essentially free money, right? I don't want to deem it free money, but the compound effects on the low ticket have allowed us to continue to just pull in cash that then just gets redistributed into ad spend. Think about it. We didn't have to take technically a dime out of our own pockets, yet we still were able to take home like 8 from the low ticket and then put 14 back into ads, right? And then everything is upside from there. And now this doesn't just go for low ticket, because in most cases, I'm not gonna push you to do low ticket. I do love the model, but it is such a bitch to get going sometimes. And the operational complexity on low ticket can be very annoying if it's not done correctly. Now I've mastered this, very, very good at the low ticket space. So by all means, if you're looking to do that, let me know. But 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna push you to high ticket. However, what a lot of people overlook is the compounding effects of a high ticket mastermind. I'm in a mastermind, I paid around $4,000 for it. And I have continued to get billed $600 a month for the past 3 or 4 months. So my initial 4K investment, which was a decent chunk of money, right? 4K is nothing to just like throw under the rug. But that initial 4K investment has now turned into 6,400, right? Because 600 times 4 months, that's an extra 2,400 on top of the 4K I already spent. So just like that, my lifetime value has gone from just the 4K to 6,400 and will continue because I don't plan to leave anytime soon, right? So realistically, they could pull 10K from me if that's the timeline I end up staying for, but they could pull 10K from me and I wouldn't be the wiser. Obviously I'm paying attention, but when the value's there, you're going to keep paying for it. And so a lot of people get caught up in this low ticket subscription model, whereas the high ticket, if it's structured correctly, my God, the compounding effects are crazy. Because let's say you just retain 30% of the people, right? You have some component within the offer, going back to my first point, you have a component within the offer that keeps people coming back. In this case, it's the community and the access to the network. By being plugged into that, I am willing to pay $600 a month, no problem. I'll stroke that check any day of the week. And that's what keeps me around. Because if that didn't exist, I would have paid the 4K, I would have taken the course material, I would have left. Totally fine model, but you constantly have to hunt. If I'm able to take the same recurring subscription model and apply that to high ticket on the back end of a 3 to 6 month program, holy shit. The other thing is, if you're targeting a rich enough demographic, they might just straight up forget. Now, I'm not saying that's ethical, always let them know that they're about to be rebuilt, but realistically, they'll be like, yeah, you know, it's not a dent, like I'll stay in it, maybe something will come of it. Right? And so again, the 3 things after turning $14,235.69 into over 100K cash collected, 98K if you want to be technical about it, but 100K and 31 to 33 days, whatever the fuck it was. The 3 biggest things: have a rock solid offer. This will outweigh every other aspect of your business. I'd rather work with a cracked offer than a dude that has 300K on Instagram that can't post good content and doesn't give a fuck about his business. Give me the guy that cares deeply with 1,500 followers that has a 30K product that people love over the due to the following any day of the week. I do not care. So number one is the offer, both the price point and the value and results you get by paying or receiving that offer. The second thing is timeline. You just have to accept the fact that you need time in the game in order to see success in your business. It's just a part of it. Suck it up. Sorry, some people get lucky faster. Some people it takes forever. It's taken me a year to get to a point where I'm finally like foot on the gas, let's go, instead of constantly signing clients and being panicked about results, because now I'm very confident in the results. The proof is in the pudding, 14K to 100K. I'll keep fucking saying it because I'm proud of that shit, right? This is someone I worked with day one. This is the first client I ever worked with. This is what we did. Time in the game fucking matters. Any of these newbie growth operators that you go to hire, these brand new fucking agencies, yeah, you'll get them for fucking cheap, but they don't have the experience. And I would have told anyone when I started, hey, if you're serious about this, start with someone who knows what they're doing, or let me put you in touch with someone who knows what they're doing. Now I can confidently say, I am the fucking person, right? I'll get very, very passionate about this because it's true. But either way, time in the game is how you can compress results. It took me 8 months to figure out how to do this. I guarantee you any new client I take on, I can do it within 90 days. And so time in the game is arguably the biggest thing. But over the long run, the biggest lever you can pull in your business is lifetime value. Do not be overly concerned with month one cash collected. Great, we love it. Again, if you can acquire customers at virtually no cost, it's great. But if you have a vehicle like our low ticket subscription, where it's running at a 0.6 ROAS right now, we're scaling it up, we're improving that, but it's at a 0.6, and we're totally fine with that because month 2, month 3, and month 4 we're profitable, well then focus on that. Again, 25K of the 100K cash collected, we didn't have to really lift a finger for. I spent $3K to get more of those recurring subscriptions, and at a 0.6, call it, that's only $2K worth of MRR, right? $20,000 has been built up every single month over the course of the last 8 months. And so do not neglect LTV. If you have a high ticket offer, please, 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 the one thing I would take away from this is charge something on the back end. Make sure that after their time is up, they get rebilled or you move on. Because again, it's either bloat on the operational side or LTV. One of the two, you gotta pick. Bloat and LTV or no bloat, no LTV. And I'm gonna go LTV every day of the week. And so those are the three biggest takeaways. If you're looking to do something like this and take your consulting or coaching business from 10, 20, all the way up to 100, 200K a month and scale it upwards to that. I'm on some businesses that are doing 3, 4, 5, 600K per month, one singular offer. Go ahead and click the link in my bio, fill out the application, book a call. You're gonna speak to myself or a member of my team, and we'll walk you through the step-by-step process to achieve similar. Now, I'm not saying these are likely. Usually we run at a 4x return on ad spend. But if you want a shot at doing this, book a call, let me know, and subscribe to the channel. I'm sharing shit like this all the time as to how we've been able to, as a business, scale offers consistently to 6-figure months. So if that's you, like, comment, subscribe. There's shit like this coming out every single week, and I will see you in the next one.